So you are an introvert or you don't like talking to people, but you have a virtual assistant business and you need clients. So how are you going to get them? Today, I am going to talk to you about fears associated with the discovery call, and I'm going to provide you some tips of how you can overcome those fears. Hey there, and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time you are joining me, my name is Lisa Baldwin, and my goal here is to help you launch or grow your very own successful virtual assistant business. And when I was prepping for this week's video, I did like I do very often, and I go to virtual assistant forums and read the questions that people have. And one that I noticed this week when I was going through was there were a couple of people that had commented that they are introverts or they are shy, or they would schedule a discovery call with someone and then stew and fret about it for 2 days. And by the time they got to that discovery call, they were like an anxiety-filled mess. And what I want to talk about today are a couple of reasons of maybe why you've become an anxiety-filled mess. And then I want to give you a few tips of how you can possibly overcome that. So one of the number one things that you can do to make discovery calls easier is to be prepared. Preparation is key. A lot of us that are virtual assistants, and this is not true of everyone, but a lot of us do tend to be a little more introverted. We kind of like to work by ourselves. We like to work in quiet. We like things structured. We like things organized. So that only makes sense that being prepared is going to help to ease some of that anxiety that may be associated with your discovery call. Now, I have done a video in the past, and I will link it in the description below, called 3 Key Discovery Call Questions. This is one of my most watched videos. It is a video that I cannot believe that I gave away these 3 questions for free. I should have put it in my paid content, but I didn't. I give it away for free because these 3 questions are going to help you be 100% prepared for that discovery call. Then what you can do is, based on the responses to those 3 questions, you can actually create a script for your discovery call. So when you go into it, you can be prepared. Another reason why you may be scared of the discovery call is that you're thinking of it as a sales call. And again, going back to kind of lumping a lot of virtual assistants into the same bucket, we are not salespeople. And I've talked about this in a different video that I did that I will link in the description below of why your discovery calls aren't converting. But we go into it a lot of times thinking it's a sales call. We are trying to sell ourselves, right? We want that client because we need that client. And the first thing I'm gonna say is you don't necessarily always want every single client. And I encourage you to go back and watch the video I just referenced, because I talk about exactly what happens when you are so bent on getting every single client. It doesn't always necessarily turn out the way that you want it. So what you need to do is you need to not think of this as a sales call or a sales presentation. I would encourage you to think of it as just a conversation between 2 people. And especially if you have asked those 3 discovery call questions and you have those answers in advance of your discovery call, it is going to make that conversation a lot easier. You can also think of it as you interviewing them, right? Because I think so often we go into it wanting to sell ourselves. But what you need to keep in mind is, in a way, you are selling yourself, right? You want to give a good impression, but they are also selling themselves to you. They've done their research on you. They've probably, hopefully, been referred by someone else who has edified you to them. So they probably want to work with you as badly as you want to work with them before the discovery call. And what the discovery call does is it really helps to determine if you and the client are a good fit. If you take the sales part out of it, if you take the I need to uber impress this person, if you see it as a conversation or perhaps like a consultation or just talking back and forth about issues they're having in their business or what they're looking for in a virtual assistant, it takes that pressure off. And so often, that's what makes us nervous about a discovery call. That's what makes us anxious about that discovery call. Another thing that you need to do is you need to do your research before you ever get on a discovery call with a potential client. You need to know what their business is, if they've got a website, if they have a Facebook page, if you have friends or acquaintances that know them, ask them questions about that person's business so you know exactly what you're getting into, and it can help you to design the type of questions that you are going to ask them, because the more informed you sound, the more knowledgeable you sound, the more competent you sound. And if they are interviewing other potential virtual assistants and through your discovery call you determine, okay, this person would be a good fit for me, you want to sound competent. You want to sound like you know what's going on. And that's going to also make you feel more confident. And that confidence is going to come across in that discovery call. And it's also going to help to ease some of that anxiety that you're having about that call. The next thing I would recommend is you being in control of that conversation. Now, I'm not saying you necessarily dominate it and never let them talk, because I don't recommend that at all. But I recommend that you be the one that asks the questions. Ask the questions and then let them talk. Let them talk. You sit there and you listen. You don't interrupt. You ask them a question about their business and you let them vent the response. Because so often what that is going to do is that is going to reveal issues within their business, gaps in their processes, and that will indicate to you places where you can provide specific services based on your skill set to help them grow their business. And if you watched other videos that I've done before, a client's success then turns into your success. So I encourage you, control that conversation, but in order to do that, you need to have questions scripted out. Again, like I said, have a script, and then you follow that script. Having that script there is going to keep you organized. It's kind of going to be like a security blanket for your conversation, especially if you get nervous and can't come up with things on the fly. And then when you have a list of questions and you are asking and trying to find out more about their business, trying to find out more about them, that's going to help you to build a relationship with them. You want to stand out way more than anybody else that they're interviewing. And the discovery call might be your only opportunity to do that. And then one of the final things that I'm going to recommend is, based on those 3 discovery call questions, and work this into your script, have answers to those questions or solutions or ideas of what they can do to address those. And another thing that I think is really, really important, and I've mentioned this in other videos, is if you are not the right fit for them. If you go through this discovery call and you're not the right fit, don't pitch yourself. But here's what you can do to bring extreme value to that particular person that you're having the discovery call with, is I encourage you to be a connector for them. You may not be the right person to work with them, but you may know someone that is, and I encourage you to connect them with that person. What that does is that makes you look valuable to them. That makes you look valuable to them, and they're gonna remember that. So if there's ever a time in the future when you do have a skill set that they need, they're likely gonna reach out to you. Or they have a friend or know another business owner that needs the type of skill set that you have, they are going to remember that you were a connector. You weren't necessarily the right fit for them, but that didn't stop you from trying to help them in their business. So if you have not already, I am going to ask you to subscribe and ring the bell. I am here every single Tuesday at 10 a.m. Central Time, and I just drop a new video to, try to help you do the best that you can in your business. It's not always easy. I'm learning every single day, and I try to teach you guys everything that I learned, mistakes I made, all of that stuff. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and leave a comment if, of course, you have a comment. So I hope you found this very, very helpful. As always, I appreciate you watching this week's video. I encourage you to go watch the other videos that I mentioned here and linked in the description below. And I look forward to seeing you in next week's video.